computer. Okay, so the subject matter is the third of the 7 branch method. And today our subject matter is purification. So I have talked a lot about our projects as practitioners, and we are accumulating 2 things. Shout it out loud and proud. What are we accumulating? Merit and wisdom. Yes. And so when we're accumulating merit, we think about doing good things, right? Well, actually, purification is one of those things that you can really, really accumulate a lot of merit doing. And it's actually, when you think about it, it's going to become one of the best offerings that you can make. Anytime that you are decreasing your negative thinking and negative karma, you are making an offering to all beings. You are making one of the best offerings to all beings, because every little bit of negative thinking, negative karma that we decrease, we are a better and better condition for others. And so actually, purification is one of the most healthy and beneficial things we can do for ourselves and for everyone. I'm going to read you a quote. Path Buddha is the purification of affliction obscurations. Path Buddha is the purification of ignorance obscurations. Every time you purify, that is Path Buddha. And that was said by Dzogchen Khenpo Chogyam Rinpoche at the Dzogchen Lineage Internship on September 11th in 2017. I'm going to put this in the chat. I like this quote a lot. It really, for me, succinctly states why it is that we do purification in the first place. So accumulation of merit and the purification of negative karma are the 2 ways that we manage our karmic systems. Okay, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to spotlight myself. There we go. Okay, that looks good. So now I have to scroll if I'm going to see all of you. So don't forget, if you have a question, to raise that little electronic hand, and it'll make you jump to the front of the line. I'll be able to see it. All right. So we are trying to manage our karmic systems. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to accumulate merit and purify negative karma. So we're trying to accumulate good karma, positive karma, and negate the negative karma. And actually, those are kind of one and the same thing. They're 2 sides of the same coin. So it's a hallmark of the swift path of Vajrayana that, when we spend time close to a Vajra master, that we give the Vajra master permission to get to know us and to help clean our faults. And we do this through purification practice. So as your teacher, I'm not going to give you so much purification. I'm authorized to give you a little bit of purification. Doesn't really happen that much. I don't really see all of you doing bad things. But we should assign ourselves purification. That is something that we can do. Because you know what? We all know, we do know when we're doing something that is non-virtuous. That much we know. That's what separates us from animals or from, other beings, right? So in this system, we do have a system of cleaning our faults, of purifying our faults. And so I've had many opportunities as a practitioner to purify my negative karma. And I have had a lot of opportunities to contemplate the healing benefits of purification, and that's why I'm such a proponent of it. So practicing Buddhists, we can't really get the results of our practice until we really understand the healing benefits of purification. And it takes a little training to view in the view, like training in the view basically is learning. Right now, we are learning the view of Buddhism. By attending my teachings, that's what you're doing. you're learning the view. Remember, we have view, meditation, and conduct. And when you're learning the view, what you are understanding what it takes to be a Buddhist. And right now, what we're learning today is what Buddhist purification is. And it involves contemplating our own mistakes. And that is part of what you need to do to practice purification correctly as a Buddhist. You need to contemplate your own mistakes. And this is our own responsibility and it's our own practice. And it takes meditation to receive the accumulation power of purification. We need to practice meditation to do that. It does require a little wisdom to practice the accumulation power of purification. And when we do this, we're going to end up changing our thinking. We're going to change our karma. We're going to change our attitudes, our actions, and our conduct, all on the way to becoming Buddha. Okay, so I was raised a Catholic. So the Catholic idea of purification, okay, let's start with original sin. Okay, you're already born dirty. And you're primordially dirty is how we would say it, right? And you have to clean yourself if you want to go to heaven and experience the, everlasting life. And so at the age of 7, as a young Catholic, you are trained in confessing your sins. And then you practice penance. The word penance, I looked it up. It means voluntary self-punishment inflicted as an outward expression of repentance for having done wrong. Wow. Voluntary self-punishment inflicted as an outward expression of repentance. That's heavy stuff. And you do this as a 7-year-old. Yeah. So penance is the Catholic word for punishment. And I'm not saying all this to just make fun of Catholics or whatever. This is a belief system that a lot of people have, and it works for a lot of people. But penance is not the Buddhist way. We do not practice any form of self-punishment or punishment of others. We just don't do that. So I'll tell you more about that. So this is the way we're raised, though, in our culture. If you do something wrong, you go to jail, and jail, prison is a place where you're punished. And this is a pervasive idea in our culture. It's not just a kind of a random, lightly held. No, this is a belief system that most people have. It's all around us. On the other hand, when you follow the Buddha path, purification is the key practice. And it's what we need to practice if we're going to attain the result. And so one of the first things we learn about as a new Buddha path practitioner is that my negative thinking and negative karma are the cause of all my suffering and the condition of all being suffering. And we also learn about the 3 great principles of karma. And when we learn about karma, we learn that antidoting our negative karma is what we do when we practice positive thinking. And we learn that decreasing my negative thinking decreases my suffering. And it decreases my negative impact on others. And then we even have in the past recited the slogan, decreasing my negative thinking is my happiness. Decreasing my negative thinking is my happiness. And so you see, purification is the very first step we learn as a beginning Buddhist. It's written into everything. Even in our preliminary practice, I mean, it doesn't take very many lines before we get right down to clear purification. It's a third of the way down the page. All right, clear purification. So it's really important that we understand what it is and that we're not inflicting self-punishment on ourselves. That's not what we're doing. So I really want to get that across so that we can begin to see this word purification as my happiness, right? Because Purification is decreasing my negative thinking. And decreasing my negative thinking is my happiness. You know, purification is so important that even before we start our preliminary practice, what do? We do peace fire puja. And we recite Ram Yam Kam. And what does that do? It purifies all the elements, purifies and blesses all the elements and on our environment and ourselves. So that's where we start. Purification is definitely one of the best tools for managing our our karma, our positive karma. We want to accumulate positive karma. We want to reduce our negative karma. So let's see how we can have the proper attitude to our purification. And we do that by understanding what it is. So what is it? According to Dzogchen Khenpo Chogo Rinpoche, purification is real medicine. Without purification, it is hard to overcome challenges, especially addiction. Purification is not punishment. It is the most healing power and most correctional education and most virtuous discipline. In Buddhism, accumulation and purification is the main practice. It is the path to enlightenment and Buddha. And I will put this nice quote in the chat for you. Another really wonderful quote from our Holy Vajra Master. So purification is obviously the process of making something clean. And it's the Buddhist practice of cleaning our negative thinking and negative karma. Why? Because that's how we reveal our true essence. That's how we reveal our true nature. When we clean our thinking, we discover our true nature, that it's primordially pure, clear, luminous, undisturbable, and uncompounded. Those are the 5 qualities of Buddha nature: pure, clear, luminous, undisturbable, and uncompounded. That is the nature of who we are. That is the nature of present moment thinking: pure, clear, luminous, undisturbable, and uncompounded. And so if you had a very valuable jewel and it was buried in the mud, let's say you're working out in your garden and you hit something hard and you uncover a huge diamond, you're not going to just toss it out. No, you're going to clean it. And the only reason we clean that is because it's valuable. If it's not valuable, we wouldn't bother. So also, it's very interesting, the Tibetan word for cleaning, you clean the thing. It's the thing that you clean. You clean the dirt, you don't clean the thing. So what we're doing is we're cleaning the dirt. We're not cleaning ourselves, we're cleaning our negative thinking. And this is a very interesting distinction that English doesn't make so clear, but in Tibetan, it's very, very clear that you're cleaning the dirt. Okay, so let's talk about what purification is not. It is not punishment. It's not the infliction of a penalty. It's not retribution. It's not suffering for a mistake or an offense that we've committed. Punishment is one of those things that's practiced in our human culture. It's practiced every day in a lot of ways. But did you know that Buddhism is unique among all religions, philosophies, and cultures in its repudiation of punishment? It is. It is the only culture that says punishment is not acceptable. And Buddhism totally denies punishment. In Buddhism, there's no reason ever, there's never ever a reason to inflict harm on ourselves or another person. Unless it will create greater benefit. So the classic one of, killing the sniper before he picks off a whole bunch of innocent people. But aside from that, there is no reason in Buddhism to ever punish anybody else. And there's never a reason to be a condition of suffering for another. So, so if you're going to practice purification as a Buddhist and you're going to believe that prostrations or other forms of purification are punishment, then really you should not continue that practice. And we should really discourage ourselves and others from practicing purification that way. To practice purification as punishment goes against every Buddhist principle. And Rinpoche has said, if you think that purification is punishment, then you need to do more prostrations. So, and when we talked about prostrations, you know, those, when you do them with correct view, it's a beautiful practice in which you're honoring yourself and others as Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So, so if you think about if someone is given prostrations to do as purification, we're not saying, okay, do a bunch of push-ups and punish yourself. No, that's not. No, you get to practice honoring yourself and all beings as Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. That's what the practice of prostration is doing. So it's an excellent practice to increase our wisdom view, especially the view that purification is medicine. Okay, so what else is purification not? Purification is not forgiveness. Forgiveness is not saying that you're sorry and refusing to hold a grudge, for the harm that someone has done. We don't do it like that. Forgiveness is very different for Buddhists. Forgiving others is the key to reconciliation, and reconciliation is a necessary step that Buddhists take to heal from negative actions that people do to one another. And we can apologize and we can let go of our grudges, but we cannot forgive others' bad karma. It's not our power to do that. Only the person themselves can reduce their bad karma. We don't have the power to say you're absolved of that. I don't have the power. Even Buddha does not have the power to do that for a person. Only the individual herself can purify her own bad karma accumulated for past negative thinking and actions. Only I can purify my own negative karma. Only you can purify your own negative karma. So forgiveness and reconciliation, they're excellent tools for fixing past problems, right? But only purification will fix the future. The forgiveness, the reconciliation, that'll fix the past. But if you want to fix the future, only purification works. And that's because it will purify negative thinking and the karma that will ripen as future problems. So purification is actually improving your mind. And there's another point here. Rinpoche has taught us, that Buddhists who forgive themselves, they often give themselves permission to do bad things. So you can't declare that you're clean before you purify. You have to do the purification until you really feel that you've overcome whatever that negative thinking or negative karma is. So just forgiving yourself alone, that's not sufficient. Okay, purification is also not forgetting past misdeeds. It's not about forgetting. Okay, we all make mistakes. Everyone has negative thinking from time to time. Everyone has negative attitudes. Every one of us commits non-virtuous actions from time to time. Some of us have negative conduct, and some of us have addictions and repeatedly perform negative actions. Forgetting about the negative things we have done does not purify the negative karma that is created by those actions. And purifying negative thoughts and deeds doesn't mean that we can forget about the harmful things we've done. So we believe as Buddhists that remembering our past negative deeds and then regretting our mistakes from time to time, and we do that, at least 4 times a year is good. That's the way we can prevent repeating those things. And that's one of the reasons why we have clear purification in our daily practice. If I daily remind myself that negative thinking, whatever my favorite one is, guilt, regret, all the ones we list in the Buddha path. If I'm reminding myself of those things daily, I'm less likely to repeat them. So, but once we've practiced regret and we've done our purification practice, then that's when we decide, we make the decision not to harbor any ill will or grudges toward ourselves or others. So you use the regret first, and then you let even the regret go. And you remember the past deeds, but you don't hold on to the grudge over those. Does that make sense? It's a real different attitude from the way we, especially Westerners, probably all human culture, considers mistakes. And that might be the most challenging thing of all with purification. We want to use our memories of past mistakes to actually rejoice in our progress. We can say, I used to be angry, 6 days a week instead of 4. So I made progress. And we just can commit to continually making that progress. Okay, what else? Purification is not disrespecting yourself. Disrespecting ourselves is not Buddhist, because we are all fixable. We are all Buddhable. As Buddhists, we never use our purification practice to disrespect or denigrate ourselves. Just like being so happy to uncover that precious jewel in the dirt, under layers of dirt. I mean, we would be so happy to clean it and see it sparkle. And just like that, when we use purification as a method to uncover our true nature, we use that practice to honor ourselves, to recognize that we are worthy of happiness, and to congratulate ourselves for having the courage to improve. So it's really important not to disrespect ourselves in the process of purification. Okay, so that's good. It's good to know what purification is not, so we can figure out what it is. So why does purification work? Well, according to the Four Noble Truths, Buddha Shakyamuni's first teaching, he outlined the causes of suffering and happiness, and he talked about how the natural justice system works. Purification works because of karma, the natural law of cause and effect. All beings are endowed with Buddha nature. We all want happiness, so our nature is true happiness. Because of that, we're naturally good. We're naturally happy. And because of that, we are naturally purifiable. It just goes with our nature. We are purifiable, every single one of us, no matter what we've done. I think that's a very optimistic, helpful, and happy thought, actually. And I may not want to forgive Donald Trump, or I don't know whoever, Hitler, or name your monster of your own world. But when I really think about it and contemplate it, it really comforts me that even they, the worst people I can think of, are purifiable. That if they really want to purify, they can do it. If they really want to recognize their sins and their non-virtues, they can do it. Great. That's great. That's wonderful. All right, so how does purification work? There are 4 main powers of purification, but you can open those up to 13. these are clearly visible in our practice on page 30 in the Buddha Path. You'll recognize every single step, and I'm going to go through these now. We have plenty of time to do that. And the four that are the main ones, I'm just going to mention those and tell you right away, is the power of object, the power of regret, the power of antidote, and the power of commitment. So the power of object is to visualize Buddha. That Buddha is the perfect object. Buddha is the perfect, anyway, I'm going to go into more detail here in just a second. The power of regret is obviously confessing and regretting. The power of antidote is when we do the let go part, right? And then the power of commitment is when we vow to never do it again. Okay, so when we open them up to 13 powers, we're going to start with the power of intention. So obviously we begin with bodhicitta, maintain with awareness, and end with dedication. So if we are interested in developing the pure intention of bodhicitta, that's going to really obviously aid our purification practice. So why are we doing this? Why am I actually wanting to decrease my negative thinking? It's because I want to become Buddha for the benefit of all beings. So you see the intention is built into it. So whenever we begin our purification, it's necessary to use the 3 sacred principles. Okay, so that's the power of intention. 2 is the power of object. We can also call that the power of support or the power of visualization. This is the part in the text where it says, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please heed me. And this is the main principle of any of our meditation practices. Buddha is the condition that is so powerful that Buddha is almost close to cause for us. And so when we visualize Buddha and ask for help, we're invoking the might, the power of all Buddhas, as if they're actually here with us, which they are. Now, we can't always know that or see that. So we invoke that to give our purification extra power. And when we visualize Buddha in front of us, Buddha exists more than any being, any phenomena, anything else. So, and also don't forget that wherever we visualize Buddha, Buddha truly is there. Buddha is actually there wherever we visualize Buddha. So that's why it's so wonderful to visualize Buddha in your heart center. Now, you can also, as the power of object or the power of support, you can also have you can purify in front of your Dharma teacher, in front of the Vajra master, in front of a Sangha member, close Sangha, or you can do it in front of any holy object representing Buddha's body, speech, and wisdom. You can do it in front of a thangka, a statue. It's just important to think that whatever object we purify in front of, that they are really the best support for our healing and our positive thinking. So if doing that in front of another person isn't the best support for you, then don't do it that way. Then do it in front of your shrine. All right, number 3 is the power of supplication. This is in the line, please purify all my negative karma and emotions. Right? We say please, we're asking for something, we're pleading, we're supplicating Buddha. And it's the power of calling out for help. When we actually call out for help, we are actualizing the healing power that's possible. When we ask for help, when we say it out loud, that creates the cause to receive the help. If you don't do this step, it's hard to receive it. Little kids are great at this. They will ask for a cookie until you actually give them one. They won't relent. They'll ask and ask and ask and ask. We need to be like that, like a little kid standing in front of the cookie jar. Please, Buddha, please, please, please. We need to keep asking. That's going to create the cause for us. Number 4 is the power of confession. In front of all Buddhas, I honestly confess all my mistakes. Okay. One way to say this is recognizing a mistake as a mistake is almost half the cure. That's a quote from the Holy Vajra Master. Recognizing a mistake as a mistake is almost half the cure. Okay, we cannot fix our negative thinking if we don't confess it. And when we confess in front of another person, we automatically stop defending our negative thinking, because our ego clinging is so strong. If we just like think about it ourselves, we'll find all kinds of excuses. The ego clinging really is very crafty. But when you decide to do it in front of a really good Sangha friend or your teacher, somebody that you have developed natural trust in, you can really trust that they're going to go, no, that's BS. You're defending yourself. Now you're justifying yourself. But you want to make sure that person can really hold your secrets, obviously. You will also you want to make sure that person isn't going to be affected. You don't want to confess to somebody that you're really going to hurt in that confession. You don't want to confess to somebody where you will ruin your reputation in front of them, for instance, if you need to work together. Maybe you need to confess something that will completely ruin your trust in that relationship. So as Buddhists, we don't just automatically confess. We don't just automatically, we really think about it. Maybe Buddha is the best one to confess in front of. You need to think it through. Now, if you've done something illegal or really disturbing, I mean, obviously this is a real outlandish kind of an idea, like, murder or something like that. We're not talking about ourselves here. But, committing some kind of crime or something, it may not be appropriate to tell a Sangha friend or a Dharma teacher, because maybe they'll have to take legal action and then you put them in jeopardy. So think it through when you're making a confession. Okay, and there's lots of different kinds of confession. You can do a kneeling confession. You could actually get on your knees. I can't really show you how to do that, but there's an actual mudra that we use. And you can do kneeling confession during the clear purification. And so in that, it's a mudra. You put you have your left foot on the floor and your right knee on the ground, and then your right hand over your left on top of your left knee. And then you bow your head and you can sincerely confess. And then you can even do prostrations and put your head on the floor. So there are some mudras that you can do. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes that physical act mudras can really help you really clean your negative karma. Okay, so these confessions are really important because, just already saying them, wanting to reduce them, already you're victorious. You really have to think like this, just saying this out loud, I'm already victorious. That's a really good attitude to have. Okay, number 5, the power of regret. I sincerely regret all my harmful intentions and actions. Rinpoche says, those two thoughts, I regret what I did and I will never do it again. Those are the root of purification. And regret, those roots, those are one of the most powerful ways to delete karma, both good and bad. You can delete your good karma if you regret some good things that you've done. So be careful. So remember that rejoicing and regret, those are like the polar opposites, right? So we always want to rejoice in the virtuous things we've done, and we want to regret negative things we've done. So just use regret carefully. Never regret the virtuous things. Never regret, the money that you donated, or helping a friend, or teaching Dharma. And also another thing we don't want to do with regret is to cling to it, because if you really cling to your regret and you live a lot with regret, that can lead you to self-degradation and a downward spiral to guilt and just destructive forms of negative thinking. So we normally only use regret for a short time. And it's just to help us identify the wrong thinking and to take the best corrective action. All right, number 6 is the power of decision or the power of view. I completely eliminate all my negative thinking. Okay, this covers the whole karmic system. We decide we want all our negative thinking to go. And during our clear purification practice, we use that power of decision or certainty, strength to just break through, to break all of our negative promises, to courageously annihilate all our negative aspirations. And if you really believe the words when you say them during practice, then they will carry a certain strength with you after your practice when you leave your cushion. So that is what the power of decision does for us. It helps us to create that really special karma. Number 7 is the power of antidote. All my negative thinking, let go, let go. If you keep your anger, 2 things can happen. It stays and harms you, or it causes you suffering. That is a direct quote. The 2 things that anger, if you keep it, are going to do for you, it's going to stay and harm you, or it's going to cause you suffering. So either way, it's not good. Okay, so the power of antidote, this is the foundation of the most powerful practices involving body, speech, and mind. And it's setting us up for our Mantrayana practice, which means Mantrayana, practicing mantra, mudra, and samadhi. So the mantra part, all my negative thinking, let go. The mudra part is using the Vajra Claw mudra or the expelling mudra. And finally, the samadhi is what we're thinking when we're doing that. And so what we're thinking is we are just literally letting go of our negative thinking, negative karma, negative attitudes, actions, negative suffering. And it's disappearing into nothingness. It's actually disappearing into space or nothingness. It's not going, we're not like expelling it onto like our neighbor or, into the next room or something. No, it's going away into nothingness. Very important to visualize like that. And nothingness, by this we mean non-existence. It's going out into non-existence. So through the power of view, we are going to eventually know and realize that actually my suffering is an illusion. Primordially, all my negative thinking and my negative karma actually never existed. Okay, we're not there yet, so we have to practice purification. Okay, so we squeeze all kinds of bad things. We squeeze like allergies and viruses and germs and dissatisfaction with ourselves, and we squeeze all kinds of terrible things that don't belong to us. And in this example, we can squeeze them and then we can let them go. So you literally want to try to grab those things that are really bugging you and let them go. All right, number 8 is the power of commitment. I shall never again have harmful intentions. This is the most important of all the powers. Without this promise and the promise to keep the promise, then you can't create the karma for ripening the results. What's the result? Not doing the negative things again. So we practice over and over again with this power of commitment, and we take this virtuous vow. You can take a virtuous vow like, until I become Buddha, I vow to never take refuge in negative thinking ever again. So, and you hold it as long as possible, and then you'll break it eventually. Then you just take it again. And we practice, it's a training vow that we take. Of course, you're never going to think, okay, I'm going to take this right now, and I know I'm going to break it. No, at that time that you're taking it, you want to have the power of commitment, which you really want to think in that moment during meditation that you're really going to stick to it. And that's why we use the commitment mudra. I shall never again have harmful intentions. I shall never again commit harmful actions. Because there's something that helps it stick when we use that mudra. And there's just a simple logic here. A very simple logic. If you wanted to do negative action again, you wouldn't make such a commitment. So you're reinforcing that you don't actually want to do negative things. And that's a really good thing that we should reinforce for ourselves every day. Okay, number 9, the power of healing mantra. The definition of mantra is that which swiftly protects my positive thinking. Mantra is that which swiftly protects my positive thinking. So in order to decrease my negative karma, I have to decrease my negative thinking. So the power of mantra, since it swiftly protects my positive thinking, is going to directly help me do that. I can't say, I hate my boss, I hate my boss, I hate my boss, when I'm saying Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I just can't do it. I can't say two things at once. So you use the power of mantra and you switch, you change the object. And through the power of accumulation, when we say it again and again and again, we really literally begin to change our thinking and our karma. And the results are amazing. You know, the Miracle Lama has done billions of mantras, and he actually can blow on an instrument after he's recited some mantras. It's so hot that it will burn flesh. And I've seen this happen. It's amazing. That is the power of mantra. It's very, very powerful. Okay, there are healing mantras. And one of them is the one we recite in the morning, Om Benjo Sato Hum, Om Benjo Sato Hum, Om Benjo Sato Hum. And it's the mantra of Vajrasattva. It's the short version. And it has the power to burn away bad karma and addictions. And we use it every single day. Really very powerful. All right, number 10, the power of certainty, also known as the power of realization or the power of wisdom. The power of certainty is, I am pure, I am free, I am clear, I am luminous. Right? Thinking is powerful. What I believe, I create. If you touch something and you believe it's dirty, then it's dirty. If they tell you it's clean, then you believe it's clean. I mean, we can't see germs. You know, I spray some coconut smelly stuff on something and hand sanitizer and I say, okay, I'm clean. That's largely a belief system right there, because I can't really know. So we can work with that power. When we are certain, then we can change. I am pure, I am free, I am clear, I am luminous. There's no better belief to have, to be certain of, than your Buddha nature. And that those 5 qualities are there: pure, clear, luminous, undisturbable, uncompounded. That describes my essence right there. Okay, 11 is the power of rejoicing. I deeply rejoice in all my good intentions, good actions, and good practice. This is from the concluded practice. The great master Shantideva called rejoicing the secret supernatural power. When I rejoice in virtuous things that I or others have done, I create the same or even more positive karma than they created, than the original action created. That is amazing. So why not rejoice? Why not rejoice? It antidotes jealousy and it contributes to our gloriousness. So rejoicing in our purification practice is an excellent way to amplify the positive karma that we're already creating. We're going to talk much more about rejoicing when we do that section of the 7 branches. All right, but right now we're doing the powers of purification. All right, number 12 is the power of dedication. Namo Buddhaya, for the true happiness of all beings, I will swiftly become Buddha in this very life. Therefore, just as all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dedicate, I joyfully dedicate all merit for every being to attain unsurpassable enlightenment. Wow, those are really wonderful words. Just like we started with the power of intention, we need to bookend our practice with the power of dedication. When we do this, all that accumulated merit of purification, we seal it. And finally, the power of aspiration. May all beings be free from negative thinking, negative conduct, negative actions, negative attitudes, negative karma, and suffering. We can actually dedicate and add any aspiration we want. The one that we most normally add during our dedication is that may all beings be free from suffering and have happiness forever. And that is the most unselfish biggest aspiration that we could possibly make. So whenever we add the power of aspiration, that makes our powers of purification up to 13. Okay, so there's different kinds of purification. We're getting close to the end here. We've got body, speech, mind, qualities, activities. We can purify all of those things. And if you are ever in the situation where you receive some purification from a teacher, they will give you the kind that fits the mistake that was made. So body, speech, mind, qualities, or actions, activities. So just give you an example. Body purification, let's say you hit somebody, let's say, you hit somebody. That the best body purification is to do prostrations, because it's a physical thing you can do. Or speech purification, you might recite a mantra. Mind purification, you can recite Buddhist fundamental principles. You could I've seen Rinpoche give purification to recite the Four Noble Truths a certain number of times. Or qualities. You can, for qualities, those are like, let's say you display ignorance. That's a negative quality that you display, a negative quality of present moment thinking. So a good one for that is to offer candles. So I've offered a lot of candles in my career. I've made a lot of mistakes. Oh yeah. You come to internship and you can see all of this purification in action. It's basically a month long, how much merit and wisdom can I accumulate? And then for activities, purification, you can do something like you can offer, you might offer donation or do a specific job or something like that. So that would be a good purification to do. And of course, you're practicing Buddhist principles while you're doing that. There's a lot more to say about purification, obviously, but this is just a real good overview of why we want to do it, what it's for, how to do it. And if you stick with the page 30 on the Buddha path and do clear purification, it's really the best healing practice that we have. And I really hope that this gives you a little appreciation for the practices that we have. And I just want to stop in enough time to give anybody time to ask questions. And I also want to stop a little bit before 6 to get, if you want to go to concluding practice, we're doing it at 6 on Tuesdays now. You can go ahead and leave. So just don't forget to dedicate. And I won't, let me take a picture. I won't take offense if anybody just drops off, because I know it's fine. All right, so any questions? Oh, Penny, I can't hear you. There you go.
I was dedicating so that I could go to concluding practice.
Oh, okay. Bye. Won't disturb you. All right. And if there aren't any questions, that's also fine. Oh yeah, Jed. I can always rely on Jed.
Just a clarification question. I think I lost track when you were talking about offering candles. What was that for?
Oh, that was for qualities, like qualities. So we talked about body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities. Those are the 5 categories that of purification that can exist.
And so what is a quality?
Quality, think of a quality as in like, stupidity or ignorance, or let's see, what kind of quality would you want to purify? Laziness. Okay.
I understand. Okay. Gotcha.
And think about, especially if you're looking at the KLZ, which of course all these practices are mentioned in, you have to remember that this book is about a group of unruly monks in a very large monastery in the 1800s or something. And they were getting into all kinds of trouble. And so there's some fire and brimstone in there. They were getting some purifications from their teachers for silly and stupid things they were doing. So so that's one of the context. Yeah, Susan.
So you said that purification is not about forgetting your negative actions.
Mhm.
So does it follow that you may have made mistakes, but then you realize that you always had a Buddha nature?
Yeah.
Even then?
Yes, exactly.
And then that's when forgiveness follows?
Yes, forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness means I give you permission in arrears. You know, I give you permission for that thing you did back there. You know, you made a mistake, and so I give you permission to do that. So we do want to forgive ourselves, but we don't want to forget the negative things that we've done. And so, and if you think about it, that is such a Buddhist practice, right? You want to be able to live with yourself with all the things that you've done, and you say, you know, I've come a long way. I did that thing 20 years ago. So, you know, yay me, I don't do that thing anymore.
I think it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy. I will grant that. It's not easy to look at your past negative actions, but we do it unflinchingly. Bye-bye, Sophia. We do it unflinchingly as Buddhists. That's the main key there. Yeah. Yes, Will.
I'm wondering for the aspirations, is there a certain type of aspirations that could purify, or like most like virtuous aspirations could purify?
All virtuous aspirations are appropriate. So I do this purification practice, and I dedicate all my merit that may I become Buddha in this life, you know, to free all beings. And my aspiration is that through this virtuous practice, I'm able to open a local Dharma center. You know, or through my virtuous practice, may my mother have good health and long life, you know, or my teacher have good health and long life. You can, any aspiration, you can always, you know, it's really good to have a list of your personal aspirations and look at them often and read them. You know, you don't want to just have random aspirations that you're not thinking about. You don't want to be spending all your time thinking, oh, I wish I could go to the beach. You know, I mean, just go to the beach and just make different aspirations that are better than that, you know? So yeah.
So that means as long as it's after the purification practice, and then
Aspiration always goes with dedication. Yes.
So how about like bodhicitta?
That's first, that's number 1, and aspiration is number 13. So, and the 3 sacred principles go together. So set your intention, maintain with awareness, and dedicate. So we should be practicing the 3 sacred principles whenever we are doing any Buddhist practice. And that's
aspiration is bodhicitta, and aspiration is like.
Oh, I see where you're going. There is something called aspiration bodhicitta. There's aspiration bodhicitta and application bodhicitta, and it's like this. Namo Buddhaya. To liberate all beings from all suffering and to establish all beings in true happiness. That's the aspiration part. I will swiftly become Buddha in this very life. That's my aspiration, to do that. Therefore, and whatever comes after the therefore, that's the application bodhicitta. Therefore, I will teach Dharma. That's what I'm going to do. That's the application part. So aspiration and application. Our bodhicitta intention includes both aspiration and application bodhicitta. That's why it's one of the reasons it's so powerful. The other kind of aspiration that comes with the dedication. So we also dedicate with an aspiration. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you have a question, Joanne? Or are you just waving to me? Okay, I thought so. She's just being friendly. All right, well, I believe we are complete here. And I'll hang out for a little bit to see if any new faces come. I think our couple new people that have been coming the last couple weeks. I don't think either one of them is able to come tonight. But if anybody shows up, I'll be here. So in the meantime, though, let's do a measurable light of certainty. In all universes, there is only one truth, it is Dharma. Buddha Shakyamuni is perfect. In all universes, there is only one truth, it is Dharma. Buddha Shakyamuni is perfect. In all universes, there is only one truth, it is Dharma. Buddha Shakyamuni is perfect. One original ground, Buddha nature, one pure intention, Buddha Citta, one supreme path, Dzogchen, one absolute result, Buddha. Within Dzogchen, all Buddha's teachings are herein assembled, hereby revealed, taught to this end. Emaho. Namo Buddhaya. To liberate all beings from all suffering and to establish all beings in true happiness, I will swiftly become Buddha in this very life. Therefore, just as all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dedicate, I joyfully dedicate all merit for every being to attain unsurpassable enlightenment. May all my dedications be pure like the wisdom of Manjushri. May all my dedications be fulfilled like the aspirations of Samantabhadra. Zaya, Zaya, Zaya. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Lama Carrie.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Lama Carrie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you all.
Great evening.
Yeah, bye-bye.